The hikers swore the pine grove reeked of ape when the prints they were following just vanished, 20-inch strides evaporating into nothing. Rangers pointed to the fog hiding the rest of the footprints as an explanation. Redditors claimed the hikers were lying for updates, and the local newspapers claimed Bigfoot was actually nothing more than a very large deer. The real clue, however, was the shredded subpoena fluttering in the underbrush. Bigfoot didn't vanish into legend, he vanished into litigation. Turns out the individual known as Sasquatch B was on the Epstein list, and the smartest move he could have made was going deeper underground than any bunker on Little St. James Island, because in his case, the towel didn't stay on.
And how could it?
Not with the meat he was packing.
Yeah.
You know what they say about big feet?
Oh my God. I never even thought about that.
You never thought of Bigfoot's cock?
Oh, man. Okay, so in the classic photo where he's caught halfway through walking, that ain't a leg. That's incredible.
Well, he's walking. The video of Bigfoot that we all know already, everyone's seen it, is him walking through like this, like, you know, clearing in the American woodlands, and like there's like logs in front of him, kind of like obfuscating like his penis region, probably. So yeah, I mean, we don't know for sure what he's packing down there, but we can only hazard a guess that it was just as big as his feet.
Oh man, totally. Holy hell! All right, well, yeah, the legends are true in both senses of the word. God, I'm happy that we're doing this, and how seamlessly it fits into us using Epstein yet again in the keyword search.
Yeah, very easy, very easy. Yeah. Our jobs are so easy with being YouTubers. Just Epstein, Bigfoot, Epstein. So easy. Welcome everyone to Red Thread. Pleasure to have you here. And honestly, on that note, pleasure after 2 weeks of doing like very deep dive research into a pretty fucking disgusting case. A lot of sordid details and a lot of late nights reading into like, you know, lawsuits and stuff.
Oh, what a bedtime story.
Yeah, it was great. Very happy now to be shifting on to something just as serious. Yeah. Just as serious and just as dangerous. What a total whiplash, Jordan.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in the best sense of the word.
It is
so
great,
it's like it's very mid-morning television, isn't it? To talk about a sex scandal and then, is this new footage of Bigfoot?
We really are just like early morning television talk shows.
We are. This is
so good. No, it's good. It's only, you can only get it here at Red Thread and also those shows on it.
Yeah, and also most network TV, yeah. But you can't be bothered to get up at that like early stage, and that's really the market that we're filling, the stoners.
Yeah. The convenience of putting it on whenever you want and however blazed you are. That's the market we hit. Welcome to Red Thread. Stoked to have you all here. Stoked to have Jordan here, of course, to talk about Bigfoot this week. Jordan, I hazard a guess that you are an expert on Bigfoot.
Look, as I always say with these very, very famous cryptoids, I've done my fair share of watching Discovery Plus. Or whatever the hell it was called. They keep changing the name. I can't keep up. They keep moving it.
Well, no, it was the Discovery Channel, wasn't it? Was Animal Planet different?
It was. I think Bigfoot, purely for ratings, constitutes as an animal now.
Yeah, no, Animal Planet was like 90% like made up shit.
Cheetahs eating rabbits. Oh, was it?
Yeah, no, it was like mostly cryptid stuff from what I remember. And then maybe like one David Attenborough like well, not even him, just like some rip-off David Attenborough documentary.
Yeah, so you remember that era of it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I'm so old school because it's so strange. I have no idea. We didn't have beds. We didn't have bed frames in our house, but for whatever reason, we had cable. It's such a POV person's house, isn't it? Just like shitty furniture, everything, like quality of food, all sacrificed. Yeah, for cable.
Anything for cable. Yeah, it was the same in my house, really. Like,
yeah,
we would let the electricity run out as long as we had the cable, which doesn't make sense since we need electricity.
No, but like when it comes back on, it's there.
Yeah, it's there to keep us safe.
Keep us safe.
Like cavemen
you need
with
to
fire,
keep spiritually warm. That's more important than actually warm.
Yeah, it is though. And it is so like, looking back at it now, I'm like, why did we ever pay for it? It's so overpriced for what you get.
Oh my God, isn't it?
It's like $150 a month cable over here. And you don't get to choose what you watch. Like, what the fuck is the point?
I think just to watch Storage Wars whenever you want.
Yeah,
which again, you can do in this day and age now. But that was it. I swear to God, it was just, that was the entire appeal of it. Was like, oh, is there going to be an old car in this storage unit? No.
It was fucking good as a kid, though. Like, I used to stay home from school, pretending to be sick just so I could watch, like, Animal Planet all day. It was so fun.
Oh, yeah? That was your choice of weapon, was it?
Well, yeah. Also, I remember distinctly because whenever I would stay home sick from school, I would get dropped off at my grandparents' house to look after me for the day or whatever, and they'd have cable, but they would also have like a, you know how those Foxtel boxes used to be able to press like a game button and it would like put on like those shitty arcade games on the TV?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I used to play those all day.
Interactive.
Yeah.
What was it? Tetris and shit like that.
No, it was not Tetris. Tetris would have actually been good. I remember there was one game where it was like you were a rabbit and you would have to bounce around like a arcade screen and like dig up carrots. It was like the most nothing burger video games of all time. Somehow even worse than like the 80s video games of like not Pong and shit like that. Somehow worse. We regressed in technology. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yes, I do vaguely remember those. And surely, come on, you were obviously a huge fan of Super Simpsons Weekend, obviously.
Oh, who wasn't? Like those animation blocks when it was just back-to-back Simpsons and stuff.
Wasn't that great?
So good. You live for those moments.
Americans in the audience, do let us know, because you have to understand, for us, we are one of those alien planets where somebody accidentally through a time vortex throws a sneaker in there, and then you go to that alien planet and they're worshipping it as a god. That is Australia for The Simpsons. It was a religion. It was honestly our, like, praising to Mecca, 6 o'clock every weeknight watching The
Everyone
Simpsons.
Would
it was
sit
an
down
entire
and watch
generational thing.
It was massive over here.
It's really hard to describe because
cultural cornerstone.
Yes, and I don't think that Americans had the same experience with it.
I think it's because they had so much other stuff. There was probably like a large, obviously it couldn't have got as successful as it did without Americans. So I think it was pretty big over there if I had to guess, but I think there was just so much other stuff as well competing for attention at the same time.
But
so many different
that's
things.
what I'm saying. But
Whereas
was it big enough
here
where it was pretty much if someone said, The Simpsons suck, you'd just be like, infidel, and then you'd see them getting their head cut off on CNN. That's really what it felt like. It was quite sacrilegious to be critical of, the good seasons of The Simpsons, I guess.
Well, I get, like the first 6 seasons, 7 seasons.
8, actually, thank you very much.
Yeah, 8. It was probably close to 8.
But that's all I want to know. I just want to know, was it the same experience as Americans? Were you just fans of it, or was it's a deity level thing?
I'm going to say we took it more seriously because, again, it was the only thing we had. It was that and Neighbours. So that's all we had.
Yeah. Equally as sick.
Bigfoot. Was there a Bigfoot Simpsons episode? There absolutely was, wasn't there?
Well, I mean, fuck, man. They've had to fill out 30 seasons. They've had to have mentioned it at some point. I know Futurama did.
Episode. Oh, yeah. No, I'm thinking of Futurama. Yeah. Yeah, Futurama. I was always more Futurama, by the way, than Simpsons. If you wanted to know.
You were not.
I was. I loved Futurama.
Jackson. Okay. All right.
Hey, I still love Simpsons.
That's all well and good. And Futurama is a brilliant show. Bar when it came back, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
it was just those.
Each time it's come back, it's been slightly worse, and now it's not worth watching.
We're back, baby. Please don't.
It's kind of incredible how many times they did come back, though. They're back.
That's what I'm impressed by too.
5 cancellations. It's like incredible. Crazy. Never been done before.
No,
like an STD that won't go away.
It is really strange, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah, so we'll go on
to continue on though.
Continuing on, ranking Matt Groening shows podcast.
Before we get too off the rails here, we got to rein it back into the central question: what is Bigfoot? So Bigfoot is arguably the first cryptid you'll ever hear about when diving into the topic of cryptozoology. Its large, muscular body is said to tower anywhere from 2 meters to nearly 5 meters tall. With the body and face of an ape, it stands bipedal and upright like a human. The specifics of Bigfoot's appearance changes across different witness reports. Some witness testimonials claim that its eyes sometimes glow red or yellow in the dark, while other testimonials alter different aspects of its appearance, its stature and the way it stands and crouches, the length of its limbs, the size of its feet, and the color of its fur. And that's usually the case in like every single cryptid. There's usually one initial explosive eyewitness account of the situation, and then everyone has their own experience with the cryptid, and like they want to put their own little twist on it or own spin on it to change it up and make it more unique for them.
It becomes more and more like eyes, like the coals of hell, and they start. Yes, I'm sure it has glowing red eyes. An ape.
The attitude of like wanting to be the center of attention with this thing, like I've got to one up the last eyewitness account and make it more dramatic and stuff. And
that's totally what they're doing. Yeah. You're so right.
Did you even like Bigfoot? I think Bigfoot's probably got to be one of the most just mundane cryptids.
I mean, I'd very much like if it existed. Are you saying that
No. I want it to exist, but it's just like it's not as catchy or interesting as like Loch Ness Monster, for example, because at the end of the day, if Bigfoot is real, all it is it's a giant hairy man or ape hybrid.
I tend to agree with you, Jackson, but do you think that this is just your dinosaur autism kicking in?
Yeah, I'm more of a scaly. If it was a dinosaur man hybrid, then I'd be interested. Now we could talk. I don't like mammals. Scaly superiority. You are confirmed scaly. You are.
Well, that's why
so
I
like Loch Ness Monster.
Just not
Loch Ness Monster is way cooler. Come on, and it doesn't even have scales. Probably it's like rubbery skin, but it's still more dinosaur.
I don't know what was it supposed to be. You should know this, shouldn't you, Jackson? What was a plesiosaur? Like, it wasn't like a crocodile or something, was it? There's nothing that would have existed now that it's anything like. A snake, maybe?
I mean, I guess you could say it would be closest to probably like a. No, I don't know. Yeah, what would it be like? I don't think
so. An eel?
No.
Not slippery like that. So there's nothing that exists except maybe rubber.
Yeah, it's got rubbery skin. I was gonna say it would be closest maybe to like like a orca or something, but with a long neck, like in terms of behavior and stuff. But at the same time, orcas are obviously they're mammals, like they produce milk.
So its skin, the closest you think would be akin to, say, a scuba diving suit.
Yeah, that latex feeling, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Slippery latex.
No, and that's what you're into more. You're not a furry.
Well, I'm just into dinosaurs more than like Neanderthals.
Evolution, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like evolution. I rue the day that the asteroid ruined the dinosaurs' chances of evolving. Imagine what life would be like now if dinosaurs took over, how much cooler life would be.
That's so good. Very upset about the comet hitting the Earth. Really happy about the triumph of Homo sapien over Homo neanderthalensis and just wiping them out as a species. That was a good day. A glorious day in history. Well, look, I think that's pretty much what it boils down to. If you like that chart, and I'm a big fan of the chart, I like that a lot. The one that just has the chimp and then the thing that looks a little more like a chimp, and you go up.
Yeah, evolution is cool. It got us to where we're at. I'm just saying, if we inserted a few dinosaur genes in there, it would have been more interesting.
Yeah, and there's nothing,
No, it's the same thing. Like you said, it's the same thing just over and over again with, ape evolution to where we are now. It's the same thing over and over again, just slightly less ape-like over time.
The other thing about this being a cryptid is, as we've pointed out in a previous podcast, most likely, which is pathetic that we're even saying this, the more likely a cryptid is to exist, the lamer it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of just like it already exists. Like if you get a super tall gorilla and you have him walk around on his back legs, it's kind of like that's Bigfoot. So it's like, where's the interesting element here?
I suppose At the very least, if news.com comes out with an article that says ape man species discovered, I'm clicking on it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, it's interesting. It's obviously cool. I'm just saying in terms of ranking cryptids, it's pretty far down on my list personally.
Yeah, I'm clicking way faster on a link that says confirmed Loch Ness monster family found.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. If I had those two choices. Like what a news day. What a news day.
Wouldn't that be incredible?
2 articles back to back. Loch Ness monster family sighted and also Bigfoot family sighted. God damn. That'd be crazy. All right, so let's get to the historical background. So large hairy creatures similar to Bigfoot have been around for a long time in different cultures, like the Himalayan Yeti, the Australian Yowie. Did we do the Yowie?
Yeah, we've done the Yowie.
Yeah, we did. Okay, the Australian Yowie and the Sasquatch, which comes from the word Saskats, which originate from the indigenous tribes of Sest-Ailes in Western Canada. Bigfoot is almost a combination of these stories about large, hairy creatures. He's like kind of like the apex of all of those, at least in like Western civilization terms. Like America, it's the American creation basically of all those other big ape stories. And again, see that's what I mean.
Again, it's just aping off the publicity of America.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. No, America aped off the publicity of every other thing. Is that what you mean?
That's a better way of putting it. Yes, much better way.
But basically, it's like this thing has existed in every culture throughout history, basically, of a giant ape man.
Yeah.
So it's just not super interesting to me. Not to immediately shit on Bigfoot.
You know what's
I
really...
don't want to create any YouTube beef or drama with Bigfoot if he's out there. I do like him. It's just in reference to other cryptids. He's not my favorite.
Okay. I feel like you're being really harsh on him at this point. Like you really are just saying over and over, I'm not a fan.
I said at the start that he's got a big penis. What more do you want from me? That's as much of a compliment as you can
it's fair
expect.
And balanced analysis.
Has a big penis, not my favorite. Those are the two points that I've made so far in this episode. Ecologist Robert Pyle notes that virtually every culture preserves tales of human-like giants, symbols of our longing for something larger than life. Although each tradition gives these beings a unique name, often meaning wild man or hairy man, or referencing behaviors like clam eating or tree shaking, the core idea is remarkably consistent. In European lore, the wild men of the woods, in quotation marks, appear as naked hair-covered creatures, sometimes benign hermits, sometimes fearsome monsters, with only their face, hands, feet, and occasionally joints or torsos left unfurred. When Europeans settled in North America, reports of similar wild people continued, with sightings recorded in colonial-era New York and Pennsylvania.
Damn.
Yeah, I get the idea of like what Robert Pyle was saying there, where like humans are inherently fascinated with, things larger than life, like humans larger than life, but we've already got tall people. Why don't we just worship them? We already do worship tall people. Us short kings out there know that pain. Maybe that's why I don't want Bigfoot to be real, an even taller person to compete with. Man, that would be rough.
Yeah, totally, man. It is a pain.
to dive into this a little bit deeper, to do some trauma dumping here, why do you think we are so evolutionary coded to despise short people in relation to tall people, in comparison to tall people? I guess another way of phrasing that would be, why are tall people so hot?
Dude, don't you think it's as simple as this? Because they can pick more apples.
So you think we're just DNA coded to appreciate people who could pick up things from tall shelves?
Look, the old meats, I don't know enough about agriculture, but don't you think when they say low-hanging fruit, it sounds like it's probably not the tastiest?
Yeah, but okay. At the same time, I could say things like, well, short people can fit in small holes and scavenge food that way. Like, there's still...
They can fit in small holes.
There's still evolutionary benefits there as well, maybe. Harder to grab.
Yeah.
More slippery.
Okay, that's true. Maybe, but man, even though maybe if you just got a long arm, you could go straight into the burrow and take out the wombat or whatever you want.
Damn it, you're right.
Yeah, I don't think there's any advantage. I don't think nothing.
Tall people win again.
Maybe except if you're in Japan and your diet consists of octopi and fish, maybe being short there is pretty cool.
Okay, here's a question. Do you think this cryptid would have been more popular if he was, instead of Bigfoot, he was Smallfoot?
Smallfoot.
Really small.
I think we know the answer to that, don't we? Look, I again think that Bigfoot is he's got a big advantage in the sense that he lives in America. There is a lot of Animal Planet to cover. There's a lot of cheap content that needs to be made on cable TV. So you have a lot of guys in that crocodile hunter hat going out to Maine, which is cheaper flight than going to Australia. So he's got that handed. So he's got an unfair advantage in it. But I will say this. Remember how there was that teeny little ape species that they claim exists in Indonesia?
Yeah.
No one gave a fuck about that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so...
Exactly.
We are just inherently attracted to tall things for some reason. I want to know why. Why?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much that we look at giraffes and are jealous. I think that's
because they can reach the top.
Because they've got longer necks and they've won evolution as far as we're concerned.
All right. If it boils down to that, if that's why people want to bang tall people, I guess to reach tall apples, I guess that makes sense.
But don't you think that there is, no offense to the really tall people watching, but there's a point.
I don't think there is a point.
Not just start getting too extended. There is.
No,
there is. At some point, you start looking like a jellyfish a little bit.
No, the taller, the more attractive you are. Because I think,
especially
nowadays. No, especially nowadays, I think just being as tall as possible has just become more attractive.
You think that a 10-foot tall man is attractive?
You don't?
No!
That's so much man!
I saw one in Disneyland the other day, and I was just like, dude, this guy's problem is that he's too tall for the rides. You can't get into half of them. At some point, being tall is a disability.
How did you went to Disneyland?
Yeah.
When?
Well, it wasn't the other day. It was like 4 months ago.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you've been in Canberra. Is there a Disneyland Canberra?
Yeah, I went to Questacon, the Disneyland of Canberra. You guys don't know what Canberra is, but it's the world's most boring place. It's the exact opposite of Disneyland. That's the way to describe it.
Yeah, it's a wasteland of politicians.
Totally.
It's where all the Australian politicians go to live. But yeah, okay, so you weren't attracted to that man at Disneyland?
No.
What's wrong with you?
I'm telling you, because, Jackson, at some point, even when they're walking, it seems like they're kind of walking on stilts, going like, bear. There's a point, I'm telling you, where it's just like, this is too elongated for the natural human body. And it feels like their skeleton is almost like ripping out of their skin, going like, have you've never seen this before?
Like a Slender Man kind of thing?
Slender Man, that's what we're going with. It's Slender Man. And so what? I think that honestly, if Bigfoot existed and you saw him, you wouldn't get an erection. Let's put it that way. That's my thoughts.
But he's not that tall. He's not like, and he's also like filled out, so it looks proportional as well. Sounds like you're talking about like a clown demon with like very long limbs.
Clown demon. I suppose I am.
Yeah.
This is just a really hot ape.
All right, so let's put it this way: if you took a regular human being, let's not make it lanky and stuff. Just take a regular human being and scale him up to that size proportionally, so he had like proper muscle mass and looked normal at that height. Then he would be more attractive. I'm right. You just don't like the body mass or whatever.
All right, but what about if there was a man the size of the Empire State Building? Surely that's not attractive at that point.
Well, it starts to become a question of how do you even interact with that god being? Like how do you get down and dirty with that? That's it's a bit more dangerous, but I still think that there's many people out there that would be attracted to that, perhaps, including.
I can't believe that you're just saying the taller the better. Even if you get to the height where the atmosphere has changed and even being that tall kind of just naturally makes you dizzy, that's still attractive.
Yeah, so tall you're always dizzy. All right, are you attracted to tall women more? Or do you not care?
Look, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you my deepest, darkest fantasy. Ready? I really want to slam one just once. Just once. Just to see what it's like. I really want to have sex with one of those like tarantula women.
Tarantula women?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Every time they're like too tall, the limbs of anyone like that, it gets a bit spidery. Just being like.
So you're confirming my point, though. Even you want to slam one.
Yeah, but I just to know what it's like. It's curiosity more than anything. That's what it's not. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It's more. It's okay. They're attractive in the same way the question mark is. That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's like,
I'm more of an exclamation point kind of guy.
Huh?
I said I'm more of an exclamation point kind of guy. All right, so Gregory IV's quote, to get back to it, Gregory IV, I don't even know who this man is now. Who's Gregory IV?
Gregory the Fourth.
Anyway, he's got a quote
the other
in
three.
This document. He's got a quote in this document, so it's clearly important. He says, quote, "To be sure, the modern Sasquatch is largely the product of a European-derived culture, as possibly to an even greater extent is the Australian Yahoo, which was the Yowie. Accordingly, traces of the European wildman are discernible in both figures. Yet the Sasquatch is partly rooted in what the fuck? Amerindian. I've never seen that word before. Have you ever seen American and Indian combined like that?
No.
Amerindian. That must be a very old.
Yeah, it sounds very 19th century, doesn't it?
Yeah, American Indian, I would assume, is that combination there. So partly rooted in Amerindian representations of hairy hominoids, even though the relationship between these, which are often described as small, and the giant Sasquatch of the popular Canadian and American imagination is hardly straightforward, end quote. So in California's Central Valley lies Painted Rock, where 1,000-year-old Yokuts petroglyphs depict the clan of Bigfoot-like figures dubbed the Family, with the largest glyph labeled Hairy Man or Mayak the Tat. Mid-20th century Yakut elders told of Bigfoot the Hairy Man, a giant whose shaggy coat protected people by preying on dangerous animals. Likewise, 16th century Spaniards and Mexicans spoke of the Los Vigilantes Oscuros, or Dark Watchers, stalking their camps, and also a 1721 Jesuit with the Natchez described screaming livestock raiding beasts in Mississippi forests. And also in 1929, J.W. Burns, an Indian agent among the St. Ailes, then known as the Chehalis, collected local wild man stories for Maclean's magazine and introduced the term Sasquatch, likely from the Howcamalayum Saskats.
So many tries. Look, I'll tell you this though, you're pretty good on the fly doing this. It's even better than AI when they just mispronounce it and keep going. At least you
there's a lot of
mispronunciation
so far.
But they're such bullshit words, hey? Yeah, it's so hard.
Howcamalayum. All right, you pronounce it. You try.
Howcamalayum? No.
No, because it's not Malayum. There's no layum at the end there. It's Malum.
Howcamalayum.
Saskats.
I'm saying it's Howcamalayum.
Howcamalayum. Okay. Howcamalayum Saskats, or Hairy Man. He portrayed them as a hidden cave-dwelling people of the mountains. Other North American tribes preserved their own variants. The Cherokee speak of the Sulkaloo, or slant-eyed giants of the Appalachians. The Lumi tell of
Fucking hell. This has to be the hardest paragraph ever written in English. It's one of those, you know when you just see a completely different language and then they try and make it English? Yeah. And then you just look at it and it's basically like, where's the vowels?
There's a lot of vowels.
Consonant. Yeah, it's the other way around. Sorry, yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, it's a lot of vowels. But also, I think it's fucking cool. It's a cool language. I just wish I could say the words.
Yeah, totally.
To Seviquest with family-to-family differences in diet and habits, and of more dangerous Stiyaha or Quiquiye beasts whose names must not be spoken for fear they'll come for you. Uh-oh. The Iroquois warn of the Genesqua or stone giant or rock-skinned hair-clad marauder. In 1847, Paul Kane recorded tales of canoe-dwelling cannibal wild men of Mount St. Helens, and President Theodore Roosevelt himself later shared a trapper's story of a foul-smelling biped that killed a companion. Far to the north, the Far to the north.
Fuck.
I've said it. Well, the reason I said fuck is because I've said this word in the past. I should know it. Far to the north, the Alutiiq of Alaska's Kenai Peninsula recount the Nantinak, a figure we've covered in the past, which is said to be a Bigfoot-like being blamed for mid-20th century vanishings on Kodiak Island.
Okay.
Yet not all are ominous. In 1840, missionary Reverend Elkanah Walker heard of gentle giants near Spokane who merely stole salmon from fishermen's nets. Across continents and centuries, these wild people that we've gone over in a bunch of different names now, there were so many different terminologies thrown out in that last paragraph, each recounting a specific Bigfoot variant, let's call it, throughout history of the Amerindians, if you want to call them that, like the paragraph did before. Basically, Native American history here of these different Bigfoot creatures throughout time itself. There's a lot of different wild people that endure in myth, sometimes threatening, sometimes protective, but always reminding us of our fascination with the unknown. This is all to say that the idea of large, hairy, ape-like creatures have existed even in North America for as long as humans have existed in communities in North America. It's pretty interesting how pervasive the idea of tall, hairy men is.
Oh, totally. And especially just the more nomadic people get, the more there seems to be these myths about them. I'm very interested in that because it's kind of like when we deduce from this podcast that I found really interesting is the fact that you have all of those, don't go into the forest, otherwise these goblins will eat you, is because that was probably the most dangerous way that you could lose children back in the day.
100%, yeah. It's a way of keeping communities safe.
But hairy ape-like man never seems to be particularly dangerous. Am I wrong about that? It seems like they could rip you apart, but it doesn't seem like they prey on children. That's not the point of them.
Well, it seems like more of a story maybe of just how dangerous nature is inherently. Like I don't think they're even described as having malice at those times.
No.
Some of them definitely are. Like I'm pretty sure the Nantinak was said to be a bit malicious, if I recall correctly. But yeah, a bunch of the other ones basically just like there are these tall, hairy men that exist in nature, and you don't want to come across them in case it creates an uncomfortable situation. It's not like they're necessarily malicious creatures or anything. It's just like more of a story to tell children to just be wary of going outdoors. I would think outside of the community.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you something. This is something that I've noticed over and over again. And Americans, I don't really know what your version of this would be. You sort of have it with PBS, but we have a thing in Australia called ABC. It's like the government broadcaster. And I know so many of them, and they're just like sort of these, dignitary highbrow likes that like to think of themselves as very intellectual. And every single time, because I grew up with a lot of their parents, at some point, they will always, because they're just given huge government budgets to do what we would do on YouTube for like a couple of $100, and they're just like, I need 500,000 minimum. And so they do nothing.
Why aren't we doing that? God damn it.
Because we're just not even on the gravy train. It's so infuriating. But those that are on the gravy train, which seems to be anybody that tried to pitch perfect, get the BBC news reporter accent down pat, but they weren't in England. And then they're just given a pension for life for that. That seems to be their skill in life. But they always, without a doubt, at some point in their career, will mooch 500 grand off the government to go and do a story on some uncontacted tribe somewhere. Human beings always are inherently fascinated with the concept of a wild man. Always. And it's exactly the same. How much did North Sentinel Island just capture the imagination of the world when they killed that missionary? You remember that shit?
Yeah, I do remember that situation. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. Why are we so fascinated?
That's something that I don't actually have any explanation for, and I'd love to hear other people's. But I
think just to boil it down, it's probably just because we're fascinated with the deviation from the path that we exist on. It's interesting to look into a mirror of what it could have looked like if we didn't discover civilization.
Maybe, actually.
Well, what would you think?
Probably. Well, look, because that makes a lot of sense because this is the weird part, right? Because, okay, North American tribes would not have had the theory of evolution. They wouldn't know that we derived from apes. I don't even think they would have known what a monkey is. Are there any North American monkeys?
No, there's not.
Well, then they must have had a different word for it. It must translate to something else. There's no way they could know what an ape is.
Well, maybe they didn't think of it. Well, no, they describe it again as mostly ape doesn't come up. It's always hairy man, and hairy men existed for sure.
Hairy men existed?
Yeah.
Because they are describing an ape then. Okay, well, see, this is strange. But all I'm saying is, even nomadic tribes, that wasn't wild enough. They needed something wilder than that, it seems.
What's wilder than that? What do you mean?
The ape man. They wanted just something to sit there and just be like, there's something that lives freer and more naturally than we do.
Than even us, yeah.
Than even us.
Well, okay, so do you think that they created these stories about hairy men in the same way that we look at, the Sentinelese Island and the untouched tribes in that same level of fascination?
I don't know, but it seems like that could be an explanation because it's not what you were saying before. It doesn't seem to be a myth about don't go into the forest or the ape man will eat you. It's more, if you go into the forest, there's these ape men and they are wild and sometimes they do.
Actually, yeah, that's an interesting, again, to go back to the whole storytelling method of scaring children, perhaps. Maybe it's not even just scaring children. Maybe it's more so just an imaginative element of there's uncivilized humans out there. And of course, when humans are uncivilized and they're living in the wild and stuff, they don't have access to hair trimming tools or anything like that, so they get very hairy, of course. So maybe maybe it's like an imaginative element of like, yeah, outside of this community where we want everyone to stay, there is there's people out there that are untamed, basically, and yeah, they're very hairy and tall. So
it could explain it. I don't know. Now I'm really interested in the mythology of Bigfoot because you're right. It's just across the planet. I mean, I was just looking down at this map, and before we go into this map, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about now. But dude, I just fucking Google image the Kenai Peninsula, what we were talking about before. That's just double America. I'm going as far as to say, even though Alaska shouldn't be a part of America, I mean, look at this weird cutoff of what it is. I'm saying if you don't live in the Kenai Peninsula, you're not a real American. Have you seen this place?
That's true America.
That's
Kenai
real
Peninsula.
America right there. It's just every single photo looks like it's missing is a bald eagle sweeping up. It's just like those really dramatic mountains. All that
it looks like the
beautiful
frontier.
pine forest. It's so nice. What a beautiful place. Fuck me. Man, one day, Jackson, I would really like this podcast to be profitable enough for like Jackson and Jordan do what Animal Planet never had the budget to do.
Go to the Kenai Peninsula and have a holiday.
All of these sick places that they found.
Yeah, well, I want to go to
wherever the Bigfoot is found. It's just truly wild frontier area.
I have said from the start of this, I want to go do like in-person shoots and what do you call them? Investigations into cryptids and stuff like that. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, which is just a real cheap cover for you want to go on a holiday, and so do I.
Well, yeah, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
We know it doesn't exist.
I was like, we gotta find a really catchy cryptid to investigate in Japan, please, so we can go back there.
I'll tell you what you can discover because I'm very interested in that. They've got their own Tasmanian tiger.
In Japan?
Yeah, they've got a small little Japanese wolf. That, I've seen photos. I think it's still there. They think it's extinct, but every now and then you get a photo of something and then sometimes they say it's a dog and then other wolf experts will say, no, that's definitely a wolf. That's one of the cryptids that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, let us know in chat if you want us to go to Japan and spend 6 months hunting this wolf cryptid. Please say yes.
But yeah, sorry, we'll go back on track. But like everyone in America, for fuck's sake, stop going to fucking Florida. It's gross. It's a swamp. Go to the Kenai Peninsula.
Yeah.
For your holidays.
Yeah, go up there. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's only you've only got to deal with the Nantinak.
Exactly. Whatever the hell that is.
I think it's the more malicious version of the Bigfoot. So be careful. Chapter 3, A New Name. On July 16th, 1924, the Oregonian ran a front page story telling the story of how a party of gold prospectors camping in a remote gorge below Mount St. Helens claimed to have come face to face with a band of so-called ape men. So at this point, they had started referring to them as ape men. Remember, before this point, they were always just referred to as like hairy men, basically. Even, again, like the mid-20th century Yakut elders told stories of Bigfoot the hairy man, a giant whose shaggy coat protected people by preying on dangerous animals. So yeah, back in like ye olden days, Bigfoot was never thought of as an ape. And you might be right in that they probably just didn't have a concept of apes, at least in the Americas, which is why the translation was always, hairy man, basically.
Yeah.
That's probably different in the other countries, because as we can see from this map that's probably up on screen right now, this mythos or the story of a tall hairy man literally exists across the planet in every single region, basically. Even Africa, even Europe, you've got the Kaptar, the Almasti. In China, you've got the Yaren. In Australia, you've got the Yowie. In South America, you have the Maracoxi. All across the planet,
it's fucking
every community has had their own experience with a tall hairy man that they have put down into the history books, which is, it's pretty interesting. And more so just from like a socio-cultural perspective about how every single time human beings come together, it seems like one of the most preeminent stories is of a tall hairy man. What does that mean? Like, why do we come to that story initially? And I don't think it can be ruled down to just basically like nomadic tribes spreading the story and stuff, because like even in Australia, where we had very little outside interactions up until like, pretty late. So I'm curious about that.
So am I. I'm also curious about why some of these are white on the... Oh, is that just if they're in the snow, they're always white coloured?
Yeah, like the Yeti frost giants in Norway and stuff.
Well, yeah, that one, I think there's a good explanation for that. We'll see if you've got it in your text, but if you don't, I will come back to that.
Which one?
I've heard a very interesting theory about the Yeti before, but...
we don't even touch on the Yeti in this one, so do you want to just tell me now?
Okay, well, basically, like, Yeti pretty much translates in Himalayan to magic bear man. And they think that what it is, more likely, is, I think, a cross between a grizzly bear and a polar bear.
Oh, so it was an actual thing, probably, that was the result of crossbreeding.
Of the result of crossbreeding. So it looks weird because it's neither a polar bear or a grizzly bear and it has a really different face. Kind of, yeah. And so they think that it just might be that.
I mean, all that would take is, again, it could just be a polar bear. I don't know. Are polar bears common in the Himalayan mountains?
No,
I thought they were just Arctic, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's some kind of, that's what I'm saying. Like the crossbreeding went down that far, they think. So it's not like a straight up polar bear. It's just things just fucked around and got a little bit. Well,
regardless, if it was like if it had like white, well, it could have been like an albino bear, basically, like some weird crossbreeding aspect of a bear.
Yeah, it could
now
be
it has white fur or whatever. I don't know how albinism works in bears, but yeah, maybe. And then it just stood on its back legs like bears do sometimes. So someone in that region saw a bear that had white fur, which wouldn't have been regular in that area, I presume.
Yes, and also its back of legs. Yes, which is quite a polar bear thing to do. I mean, all bears do it, but polar bears apparently do it a lot.
Do they? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Scoping out the area, I guess, or something.
I love polar bears. Polar bears are like one of the greatest animals on planet Earth. They're so fucking cool.
Isn't it weird how cute they are, despite being so terrifying?
I mean, that's the
just
case
the Joe Rogan podcast now, isn't it? Aimlessly.
That's the case.
Rip your arms off.
That's the case in most things, though. Like I reckon, like tigers are cute.
Yes, they are, but it's really It's really hard to get cuter than a furry animal that's kind of just all white with two little black eyes, because it's a teddy bear, you know?
Yeah. And they are like literally the most dangerous animal on planet Earth, basically.
And isn't it like, yes, the most dangerous animal on planet Earth, and even the way that they hunt you actively, a human being is really cute. Like, they while they're stalking you in the snow and you turn around, they'll just crouch down and cover their nose. Isn't that?
You did see me. Jordan's getting ripped apart, just thrashed in the snow, blood everywhere, limbs being ripped up. Oh, look at him, he's so cute. He's so cute how he rips my legs
I'd be pretty
off.
happy to go by that, I reckon.
Yeah.
No,
that'd be painful.
It'd be awful. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe you just go in immediately into shock. And then, you just get to be up close
shock
and
at how
personal
cute he
with
is.
a bear. Yeah. So many ways to be shocked.
So, according to the account of this so-called ape men at this, the Mount St. Helen remote gorge, according to the account, prospector Fred Beck even wounded one of the creatures with rifle fire, only to have the enraged group hurl boulders through the cabin roof that same night. This apparently knocked Beck unconscious. Terrified, the men abandoned the site at first light, and when the U.S. Forest Service inspected the scene, investigators found no physical proof and dismissed the tale as a likely hoax. Yet local legends of rock-throwing, hair-coated mountain devils stretched back centuries, and the spot has since become known as Ape Canyon. The actual term Bigfoot was coined in September of 1958 by a journalist by the name of Andrew Genzoli, writing for the Humboldt Times. He received a letter from a reader of his that told of a story that Genzoli thought would be interesting and would make for, quote, a good Sunday morning story. See, you were right. You're right. Our show basically is just a fucking morning talk show.
Totally.
Even back in the 50s.
Yeah.
The story came from a construction worker named Jerry Cruz, who found mysteriously large footprints by loggers. I don't think they were by loggers. I think it means in a logging camp in Northern California. The journalist thought the story was a bit outlandish, maybe even silly, but his readers loved it, prompting Genzoli and his co-worker Betty Allen to continue writing about the so-called Bigfoot, writing, quote, maybe we have a relative of the abominable... fuck me. Why is this the one word that's fucked me in English?
Yeah.
English. Have a relative of the abominable snowman of the Himalayas. I don't know if that's a typo or if it was called the Himalayas back then.
I think it's definitely option 2.
Wait, it's not even it's the Homoyalas. That's...
Oh. Okay, maybe it isn't a typo then.
No. If I look up
Homoyalas.
No, that doesn't come up anywhere in Google. That's got to be a typo.
Homoyalas.
Homoyalas. How the fuck did that even make it through? Homoyalas
So
instead of Himalayas.
The world's gayest mountain range. What is this?
The Homoyalas? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Himalayas. Okay.
It has to be.
This episode is very serious. I mean, what do you expect from us? We're talking about fucking Bigfoot.
I know.
What Cruz reported to have found on August 27th, a few weeks before the story got reported, were tracks that measured at 18 inches in length, 7 inches width, with seemingly a 50-inch stride. There had been strange, unexplainable things that had been happening on the worksite too. For example, a 450-pound or 204-kilogram oil drum had been chucked down a gully, and a 700-pound or 317-kilogram tire had flown into a ditch. Cruz actually met with Genzoli in October, who photographed him with the cast of the footprint he found and published it along with 18 other articles about the creature throughout October. As Allen and Genzoli continued writing about Bigfoot, they didn't necessarily believe in the creature, nor did they think that those who sent in the stories of the original construction workers did either. The story began to gain traction throughout the country, however, and there was a large amount of organizations offering rewards if anyone could prove conclusively that Bigfoot was real. And so we have a picture here of Jerry Cruz with his Bigfoot cast, and that is indeed a Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
How easy would it be easy to fake that?
Jerry looks like Bigfoot, doesn't he?
Oh, actually, he does. Maybe that's his own feat.
Very large man. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Again, if
show
you
your
took
cock,
that man,
Jerry.
That's the only way to prove you're not Bigfoot.
Yeah. Well, it is large, but not ape large.
Well, could Bigfoot have just shaved and just gone on to live in civilization?
I think, oh my God, what is that? Is that an old story? Isn't there something like that?
Is there? I don't know. Just
me
a
neither.
question.
I think
in that case, we're going to have to do random cock inspections to make sure.
Yes.
we are such children giggling over that.
It's a very fucking funny thought, isn't it? Just on the subway.
I have a suspicion you could be Bigfoot. Show me your penis.
And it's just like a normal sized man. Just drive. I'd have no problem with it, honestly.
Yeah, I know you'd have no problem with it.
None. Would you have a problem with it?
Yes, I would have a problem with that.
Some authority that just came out.
Yeah, I'd have a problem with that. This is a continuation of you wanting to get naked on this podcast, and I won't stand for it.
Totally, dude. The more people that see my schlong, the better.
What stopped you from entering into like a pornographic career then?
You know what it was, honestly? Just Christmas dinner. That's it.
See,
I think that's pretty much what stopped everyone from being a porn star. Just sitting around and just trying to explain to your grandma why you're not on the dole.
Chapter 4, Supporting Evidence. So we come to eyewitness accounts and sightings. Over the years, there have been a few notable sightings of Bigfoot. In full, there are many, many sightings, and some go back before the term Bigfoot was even coined. Due to this, the sightings of things like the Sasquatch have been attributed to the same entity we know now as Bigfoot. We can't go over all the sightings, but let's dive into some standout stories. The most credible stories, of course. This was January 11th, 1811. David Thompson. Explorer David Thompson was journeying up Athabasca in the Rockies through harsh snowy conditions in January of 1811 when he stumbled upon exceedingly large footprints. He wrote, quote, January 7, 1811. Continuing our journey in the afternoon, we came on the track of a large animal. The snow about 6 inches deep on the ice. I measured it, 4 large toes each of 4 inches in length, to each a short claw. The ball of the foot sunk 3 inches lower than the toes. The hinder part of the foot did not mark well. The length 14 inches by 8 inches in breadth. Walking from north to south and having passed about 6 hours, we were in no humor to follow him. The men and Indians would have it to be a young mammoth. And I, what? Okay, that's burying the lead there. Mammoths exist?
I can't believe it. What the hell? What are we talking about in the 1800s saying that mammoths are around?
Being an explorer in the 1800s would have been just so fucking cool, other than dying of dysentery, but still.
Isn't that incredible just to live in that universe where it's like, 'tis a Bigfoot it is. No, it's just a standard run-of-the-mill midget mammoth. What? This is a type, is it?
Yeah, they still exist in this one area. So he believed it to be a young mammoth, and I held it to be the track of a large old grizzled bear. Yet the shortness of the nails, the ball of the foot, and its great size was not that of a bear. Otherwise, that of a very large old bear, his claws worn away. This the Indians would not allow. End quote. They wouldn't have it. It had to be a mammoth. Maybe the Indians were just fucking with them. Like, yeah, there's a giant elephant out here. Giant elephant, mammoth. You got to be careful.
Okay, well, so that's one of the earliest observations, is it?
1811, yeah. Thompson actually continued to write and expand on his journal entries throughout the years, with the event of the massive footprints staying on his mind. He wrote over 40 years later, quote, I now recur to what I have already noticed in the early part of last winter, when proceeding up the Athabasca River to cross the mountains in company with men and 4 hunters. On one of the channels of the river, we came to the track of a large animal, which measured 14 inches in length by 8 inches in breadth by a tape line. As the snow was about 6 inches in depth, the track was well defined, and we could see it for a full 100 yards from us. This animal was proceeding from north to south. We did not attempt to follow it, we had no time for it, and the hunters, eager as they are to follow and shoot every animal, made no attempt to follow this beast. For what could the balls of our fowling guns do against such an animal?
Good question.
Yeah. That's a terrifying thought.
Isn't it?
Report from old times had made the head branches of this river and the mountains in the vicinity the abode of one or more very large animals, to which I never appeared to give credence. For these reports appeared to arise from the fondness for the marvelous so common to mankind. But the sight of the track of that large beast staggered me, and I often thought of it, yet never could bring myself to believe such an animal existed, but thought it might be the track of some monster bear. End quote. So he's trying to rationalize it as much as he can, but deep down he knows that's not a bear, that's a Bigfoot. But he can't say it because he's a man of science.
God, I wish I had that man's life.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool.
Just any guy's life that I'm guessing 70% wore one of those African safari hats that you saw in Jumanji. Basically, that's what I'm saying. The guy in Jumanji, I want that guy's life.
Well, I don't want to hunt animals. I don't want to hunt animals, but
minus the gun. Yeah, I'd like to do the 1800s version of that Pokemon photography game that I use, and then you always say that it's a boomer game, and I don't even know the name of that. That's how out of date I am.
Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap. That'd be great, wouldn't it? 1800s Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, you couldn't prove Jackson's point any further of how out of touch I am. That's my ideal life. It is sick though, hey?
I think you being out of touch is sick. And by that I mean disgusting.
Okay, all right. Look, can we please just focus on Bigfoot here? let's just take the deflection away from personal criticisms about me. But like, you want that life, yeah? Like, and just those little diary entry. The Shrunken Head Tribe.
I just want to make a cool diary. Like, you can't make a diary about podcasting. You can't make a diary about podcasting. You can't like writing a diary. At 3 a.m. I sat down at my desk and turned on my microphone. I logged into Discord to talk to my friends for an hour about Bigfoot.
I mean, you could, but there'd be a lot of logs that were exactly what you just said.
Yep. Damn.
Yeah, there's nothing in it about escaping a tribe that's shooting poison arrows at you, and that's what you need.
A man wants adventure.
Yeah.
It's
just sick, isn't it?
We want to go back to our Bigfoot roots.
Yeah, totally.
1924, Albert Ostman. Albert Ostman's story of Bigfoot, referred to as Sasquatch in his story, is interesting and different to others as he claims he was abducted by a family of them for a week.
Sick!
Ostman, yeah, see, it gets cooler. Ostman, a 30-year-old lumberman, was traveling through British Columbia on a camping holiday, traveling through a part of the coast named Toba Inlet. He later said that an old Indian was hired as a guide to take him to special areas in the area to view the sweeping vistas. While they were chatting, he told Ostman stories about creatures in the area, saying, quote, "They have hair all over their bodies, but they are not animals. They are people, big people living in the mountains. My uncle saw the tracks of one that were 2 feet long. One old Indian saw one over 8 feet tall." End quote. Ostman was amused by the story, but did not take it seriously. When he was later alone, he set up camp deeper in the forest, wanting to enjoy his time in nature, in solitude. 3 nights in a row, Ostman woke up in the morning to parts of his campsite being disturbed. Not immediately assuming the worst, he thought that a small animal had just been causing a nuisance in his sleep and decided on his 4th night that he would catch the animal in the act. He went to bed normally, but instead he was fully dressed, held a rifle, and stuffed his tinned food into his bed so it wouldn't have a chance of being taken. Despite trying his hardest to stay awake, Ostman drifted off only to awaken when he realized that he was being rolled up in his sleeping bag and being carried away and being carried somewhere unknown. He failed to free himself and claims that he was carried for 3 hours until he was finally dropped on the ground as morning rolled around. He saw his captors, big, hairy beasts. Quote, "They looked like a family, old man, old lady, and 2 young ones, a boy and a girl. The boy and the girl seemed to be scared of me. The old lady did not seem too pleased about what the old man dragged home, but the old man was waving his arms and telling them all what he had in mind. They all left me then." And then he continues, another quote, "I'm sure if I could get the old man out of the way, I could easily have brought this girl out with me to civilization," he said. "But what good would that have been? I would have to keep her in a cage for public display. I don't think we have any right to force our way of life on other people, and I don't think they would like it. The noise and racket in a modern city they would not like any more than I do." End quote. So he got kidnapped by Sasquatches, and immediately one of his first instincts was like, I should kidnap the child.
So good. So good. While he's tied up.
Yeah. I just got to get out of my bindings.
That's sick. Man, it really does talk about like the entrepreneurial spirit of the 20s, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just like, I could charge 2 bits a gander.
It's just, life is so much more boring now. You cannot come up with stories like that now. No one's going to believe you.
Oh, that's so true. Man, I got a friend from Pakistan, and he's always saying that, because it's pretty much just, if you live in the third world and you live not in a capital city, you more or less live in the Middle Ages with an iPhone. Sometimes. That sometimes works. So he's always saying, he's got all these stories of, you go to villages over there and they'll say like, oh yeah, the gnome people live in the other village. It's just like, you could walk there and you could see the gnome people if they were really there, and they just say, yeah, they're just there, trust me. Or they'll just say things like this just to pass the time. Apparently he says that when you kind of live that, which is what must have been everything up until pretty much Google existed, people just sit there and lie to each other all day. And it's sort of just accepted. Yeah. So like they'll sit there and be like, one day I turned on the shower and fire came out. And then I did a prayer to Allah, and then water came out instead of fire. And then my friend once, because he's just sitting there listening to them say these things, he was like, man, that didn't happen. And then they always say this, apparently. They're just like, ask anyone here. Am I a trustworthy man? Am I a trustworthy man? And then everyone goes, he is trustworthy. They're kind of pissed off that you're even bringing up that it's not true. They're pissed off at that.
I probably wouldn't even debate someone on that point if they're making claims like that. I don't know why your friend decided to weigh in on that and be like, that's not true. Like, what do you gain from that?
It's because he snapped at something. He's just been listening to these stories for a week straight, and some point, that's it. How could there be fire coming out?
Prove it to me.
Yeah, prove it to me. That's it. He just needed some link to normality and reality.
Yeah, if you spend an entire like fortnight, 2 weeks in a row just listening to people lie to you,
lie
to
each other endlessly, and that's all they do. They just sit around in rooms drinking tea and lying. That's it. But I kind of get it because,
that sounds kind of fun.
You know what?
It.
This is sort of just the closest thing that we have to that is pretty much more or less this podcast, isn't it? It's reading about the Sasquatch.
Yeah,
that's it. And
telling
honestly,
you that it's real.
The same thing with the Loch Ness Monster. As soon as we got to the inevitable conclusion at the end, you're with me on this one, audience, surely. I was pissed off at Jackson for even writing it in.
Because you want to be lied to.
Yeah,
you want to be lied to.
You want to know, exactly. I don't know why, you just do. You want to know the lie.
Yeah.
You want to live it.
Well, that's more interesting. I get it. I want the fucking Bigfoot to be real. Nothing would make me happier than knowing
No, there's a lot of things that apparently would make you happier.
Real.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I
like every other cryptid would make you happier.
Well, yeah,
so
but
literally
still.
hundreds of things would make you happier, but it's still up there.
Yes, it's still up there.
You'd enjoy it more than getting diagnosed with cancer.
I would. I wish cancer was a cryptid.
That'd be sick. Jackson gets diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer, and then they prove that Bigfoot's real on the same day. That would be bittersweet.
Is that my I have to be punished for Bigfoot to be real?
I don't know. Just yeah, I think so. Because like you've been too down on him. There needs to be more balance on it.
I would be down on him, if you know what I mean. He is tall. Damn. But at the same time, No, you can't.
You cannot get fucked by Bigfoot. You can't.
Yes, you can. Why couldn't you?
Because oh my god, it'd be so scary. It's too much man. It's too much man. It's too much ramming.
Yeah, but he's tall. It doesn't matter. As long as they're tall, they're attractive.
But he's okay. He's not just tall like an AFL player. He's also chunky like an NRL player.
Yeah, the best of both worlds.
Oh my god. Like superior defense and offense.
We're going to look at this strategically. Go in with a game plan.
I like to say, this is the whole thing. Honestly, I love listening to this man's story about him being captured by a family.
It's so sick. Funny.
It's so awesome.
It's such an awesome story.
And just the audacity to call it as well. A week. He's there for a week.
Yeah. It's a long time.
It is.
For 6 days, Ostman claimed he was held by his family of Sasquatches who apparently did not try to hurt him. They managed small amounts of communication through gestures, and he saw how they lived and what they ate: grass, twigs, spruce, hemlock, and nuts. The night of his abduction, he had luckily stuffed those tins of food in his sleeping bag, meaning he did not starve. After an incident where the male of the group sniffed Ostman's snuff box and became ill, Ostman managed to flee. What, he killed Bigfoot?
What the fuck's a snuff box?
Yeah, what is a snuff box? It doesn't sound good. I'm assuming it's like a box
Some
full
tobacco
of herbs and
thing
stuff.
or something. Yeah. They used to hold to carry snuff, a finely ground or powdered tobacco. Snuff was commonly snorted or inhaled through the nose. Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. It's like ye old cocaine. That sucks.
Okay. Damn, that Sasquatch had a good time then. Got him hooked on snuff.
I don't know if I'd have a good time on snuff.
He got him hooked on snuff. Well, no, imagine never having like tobacco before.
Yeah, going straight to that.
Going straight to, oh my God. Would have put that Sasquatch on his ass.
Look, the story's believable. I'll give him that.
Maybe it turned that Sasquatch into like an abusive drug addict after that. He ruined that family unit of Sasquatches forever. Like, I need my fix, man. The children are crying in their caves. They don't recognize their dad Sasquatch anymore. God, what a sad story. So Ostman held on to the story for years until 1957, when other stories began to emerge. He claimed until the day that he died that the story was true. He even spoke to police about his experience and signed a solemn declaration under oath and by virtue of the Canadian Evidence Act that it was true. Yeah, but your Pakistani friends or whatever who were talking about like fire coming out of their showers or whatever, I'm sure they would be that egotistical that they would also sign a solemn declaration that happened under oath.
They like always do it, actually. You're right. Anybody that just sits there and lies all day, according to my Pakistani friend, is always constantly talking about how credible they are. They're always, as I was saying before, it's just like, ask anyone here, have I ever said a lie in my entire life? Not one. That's how honest I am.
Now that you say it, maybe they were being honest and they do have like a fire, instant combustion issue with their showers, maybe. Maybe your friends are
but they're not,
bad person
okay, look.
for not believing them.
They are not saying that it was the gas pipe got mixed up with the water pipe. They are saying that the shower head was cursed by a gypsy or something. And then they had to pray to Allah to make it make water again. So, you know, it's not as believable as the gas pipe thing. Nonetheless, quote, I am a trustworthy man. So, I don't know.
As long as you say that, I believe you. I'm instantly trusting.
Dude, it's actually, you know what? Honestly, just the fact that he said it then, I did believe him. It's incredible. All you have to do to convince people that you're trustworthy is to purely just say that you are.
Yeah, that's unless you've lied to them in the past. I mean, then that's the issue.
Yeah.
If they can prove that you've lied in the past, then you lose credibility. But I think most people, unless the story is fantastical, like the fire out of pipes or whatever, like, you can make small lies pretty easily, and people will just err on the side of credibility with you. Probably. So yeah, maybe.
Still, what a legend for writing in the Canadian Evidence Act, whatever the fuck that is.
It's the most solemn declaration.
It's what a Canadian sounding bill too.
Canadian Evidence
Act.
October 20th, 1967, the Patterson-Gimlin film. Maybe one of the most famous cryptid sightings in general, the video that was taken in 1967 by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. The two men had heard of Bigfoot and were in the northern Californian forests in the hopes of witnessing it. On October 20th, they were riding on their horses upstream when in the afternoon they found a large overturned tree. Alarmed, both men spotted something on the opposite side of the riverbank, a large, hairy creature. They sat in shock as they stared at the beast, roughly around 25 feet away. Patterson initially described the creature as 6 to 7 feet tall, but later said it could have been up to 7 feet 6 inches tall. Gimlin estimated 6 feet on the other hand. They said and showed in the film that it was hairy and ape-like. Its hair reddish, brown, or black. It was bipedal, walking like a human with its arms swaying by its sides and also with its predominant breasts. I don't remember its predominant breasts, but I'll believe that. Sure.
Yeah.
Had giant titties. Maybe it was a girl, Bigfoot. Do we know for sure?
No, we are not sure.
Interesting. Quote from Bob Gimlin. The leaves were all changing, reds and yellows. We were just riding up there. Roger was taking pictures of me on the horse and leading the pack horse. That's when Roger's horse just started jumping and lunging. There was a Bigfoot standing there just on the other side of the creek from us, but it just immediately turned and started walking away. Well, Roger by then had got his camera out of his saddlebag on his horse, and he was running across the creek there. He hit the other side of the bank and stumbled and kind of fell down on his elbows, and that's when it made the famous head turn, is when I stepped down off the horse.
Oh! Well, I like this little director's commentary. Never knew that.
Can I see the video? I want to watch the video again. So, yeah, video editors or, someone was able to stabilize the video because the original video is all shaky, as most cryptid videos are, because obviously you're very scared in the moment. But they were able to stabilize the image so you can see Bigfoot more clearly. Well, that's a Bigfoot. He definitely walks like a man.
Okay, that isn't any more impressive than the other one. What do you reckon?
It's stabilized. It's completely stabilized. You can see it more clearly now.
I guess so, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, his swagger, like his walking style is less ape-like and more just like a guy wearing a suit, if I'm being completely honest.
Totally, dude, yeah.
Just the way he like sways his arms back and forth. Just look like a dude.
Very clean fur coat.
He also does not look bothered. He just like looks over his shoulder like you would when you hear a commotion on the street, maybe. You just keep walking. If he was like a Bigfoot and he had just seen two people fall off a horse or whatever they said, surely he'd go into like primate mode and start beating his chest or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Make more of a big deal about it. But no, he looks behind his shoulder and just keeps walking like it's none of his business. Like, surely he's just as impressed that he's just seen two humans. Like, wouldn't it be pretty wild for him?
What do you reckon a gorilla does?
Yeah, I think they're pretty inherently...
Do you reckon they just run up and bite your head off, or...
No, they kind of... Maybe like a silverback gorilla or something. But like, yeah, I think monkeys are also interested in humans. A lot, especially if it's like their first exposure to humans. I think they would be very interested. I think they would like stick around and watch humans and stuff. This guy, though, it looks like he's got a meeting in 30 minutes that he's got to get to.
Yeah. He really does. Huh? What was that? He does. He looks like he's going to work. Yeah. That's such a good observation.
It does. It does look like that. So they had a 16mm Cine Kodak camera, which I believe is the same one that they used to film Loch Ness Monster, by the way.
Oh.
This is the ultimate cryptid camera, it sounds like.
Totally.
Struggling against their now frightened horses, Patterson had the camera in one hand and was running closer to a better spot to stop, where he would steady the camera and film. He yelled back at his friend, now with a rifle in his hand, of course, American instinct, shoot the fucking thing. Bob, cover me. Well, this isn't the fucking military. What the fuck is this? His quote is, Bob, cover me. It's like it's fucking SEAL Team 6. We've got to capture Bigfoot.
Yeah.
In the film, the creature seems to turn to the two, quickly glancing before striding away, disappearing into the forest. The film was 59.5 seconds long and went on to become one of the most controversial pieces of evidence surrounding Bigfoot, as well as one of the most famous early home videos recorded. Many believe that this was a hoax, immediately asserting that Bigfoot was clearly just a man in a suit, and the two men had created the footprints in the sand so that they could receive fame and notoriety from the matter. Patterson and his brother-in-law, Al Diatley, embraced the fame this video brought them more than Gimlin did. Okay, by the way, I love the name Al Diatley. That's a fun name to say.
Sick name.
Al Diatley. Fun name. They went on tours and made deals with companies like the BBC to use the footage, and Patterson went on talk shows and programs where he would talk about their experience with the beast extensively. Patterson was passionate about Bigfoot. It's why they supposedly went out to the Northern California area in the first place, and this continued until he passed away from cancer in 1972. On his deathbed, he told author Peter C. Byrne that he, quote, he wished he would have shot the thing and brought out a body instead of a reel of film, end quote. Such a fucked up thing to say about Bigfoot.
It is a fucked up thing to say.
I hate the instinct to kill these things, like going out and hunting, like actually hunting these things if they're so rare. I get the proof aspect of it, but man.
It's bad because it is an endangered species, but look, there is a deep part of me, Jackson, that is thinking, yeah, I wish he shot
it. Yeah, kill that thing.
Not as in just kill it, just like
person to compete with.
Just put it in the Natural History Museum. Come on, just one. Just one with its glossy stare eyes, and they just put it in that sad little enclosure that makes it look like
capture it alive. Put it in a zoo. It'll love it there.
Yeah, but man, he's just a simple country boy. You're gonna have access to that kind of stuff like tranquilizer darts, and do tranquilizer darts even work, or do they? You have to? I know they work, but
let's try it.
Are they instant? Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Let's do a tranquilizer challenge. See how many we can take.
Yeah, shoot one at me, Jackson. I'll do it.
Let's do it. I'll shoot one at you. That sounds great. Great content.
It would be sick.
Patterson and Gimlin's friendship was not the same after they saw Bigfoot. The event brought friction, though they did make up right before Patterson's death. Gimlin stayed quiet for a long time. He had initially tried to sell the film and story with his friend, but his heart wasn't in it and he couldn't continue. He was mocked in his town. People labeled him as a liar, and everywhere he went, he was ridiculed. His wife experienced the same bullying at her job, and that sealed the deal for Gimlin. From that point on, he didn't talk about Bigfoot for almost 35 years.
Damn.
It wasn't until he was convinced to go to a conference in 2003. Is there a Bigfoot conference?
Or is that just so.
Is it just a
There's
random
conferences and conventions for everything in the United States, isn't there? For Scrabble, they've got it all. It's just too big of a country. You're always going to find some niche where there's enough people to be like, live for one night in Austin, Texas. Yeah. It's the Clarke Grandfather Award, you know? Like
the grandfathers.
Oh, no, come on. It's got to be the Grandies.
Yeah, the Grandies is good, yeah.
Yeah.
The Grandies. It wasn't until he was convinced to go to a conference in 2003 where his story was met with praise and curiosity and not ridicule that he decided to come back and talk about his experience. Gimlin still firmly believes in what he saw, saying, quote, I strongly believe that if a real one walked in the house and sat down at a table, or the best it could, they'd say, no, it's a fake. It's somebody in a suit. That's how naive they are. So that's just the way I tell them until the day they spank me in the face with dirt. Okay, end quote.
All right.
Pretty believable.
Yes.
I believe
this is always the one. Look, dealing with your entire community ostracizing you and making fun of you for the rest of your life, really not worth what you think you would get out of a hoax.
Yeah.
Do you think that they believed that what they saw was what they saw? No?
No. I think it was a hoax, and they're just, again,
too proud to say otherwise.
Again, it's the Pakistan example. It's just, if you keep saying it, then you won't be shamed. You won't. A liar will do his best to not have his lies exposed. Like, what do they gain by coming out and saying, yeah, it's a lie?
Okay. Yep.
There's nothing there.
No. That does make sense.
All right, let's talk about evidence, the most important aspect of a cryptid investigation. A lot of the evidence proving Bigfoot's existence comes from the above sightings and footprints. A professor of Idaho State University, Jeff Meldrum, has examined over 150 casts of Bigfoot prints and claims some are unique and different to anything he's seen. Jimmy Chilcutt, a police investigator from Texas, saw a cast from a footprint in 1987 from Walla Walla in Washington, which convinced him of Bigfoot's existence, saying, quote, it certainly wasn't human and of no known primate I've ever examined, end quote. I mean, primates don't even exist in America, so I don't know why. I guess, like, they do in the sense that there's, like, zoo primates and probably people who have owned primates and they've gotten out, but they're not endemic to North America.
It's very funny thinking that there is a primate population in the United States of escaped pets.
Yeah.
That'd have to be.
No, it's sad to think about, honestly.
Oh, totally.
I hate that aspect of America where you can just literally buy any animal.
You can what?
Where you can just literally buy any animal. Exotic animal trade.
Oh, no, it's horrible, isn't it? At the same time, I wish I had my own zoo.
Yeah, it comes from jealousy. It would be cool. There is also the Skookum cast, which is named after having been found in Skookum Meadows near Seattle. Instead of just a hand or footprint, the cast is apparently one that shows Bigfoot's forearm, thigh, buttocks, Achilles tendon, and a heel. All of these are bigger than a normal human. A press release was issued by Idaho State University about the first possible documentation of a body imprint of a Sasquatch. The hairs on the print were examined, with one single hair identified by a biomedical research scientist, Dr. Henna Fahrenbach, as being distinctly linked to a primate hair, like from a Bigfoot. Like from a Bigfoot, and not just any other primate, by the way. It's like, yes, this hair comes from a primate, just like Bigfoot. That's your first instinct. That's your first instinct.
Hang on, Jackson, I just got to get this on record. Your little thought about the fact that there is monkeys that have escaped and are now living wildly in the United States. That's a thing. Listen to this. In Florida, there are hundreds of rhesus monkey macaques that just are in the wild and they're just accepted. They just live there. So I don't know how that started. It must have just been pets, like you said, and then they've just bred up and they've created entire colonies. And then in South Texas, there's small populations of Patterson monkeys. And Puerto Rico, how's this? There's monkeys that just escaped research facilities. And now they just live there.
Oh no, they probably have like biochemical diseases.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
totally. Absolutely. So it's incredible.
So, wait,
you
is
could
it
ask
possible
this.
that like an actual gorilla escaped maybe and that's what Bigfoot is?
It could.
Like obviously the video that we all know of Bigfoot walking through the woods, clearly a fake. I think that's just obviously a dude in a suit. But like the imprints and stuff, like the footprints maybe and the the skookum cast, which is obviously like buttocks and stuff and has a hair of a primate.
Is it of his ass? Maybe the ass. Definitely not the feet. The feet are not gorilla-y at all.
Yeah, they are just kind of giant. Aren't there giant foot imprints like this over here in Australia as well?
Yeah. Everywhere they've got them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 6 toes as well. I've just noticed.
Oh, Jesus, really?
3, 4, 5,
well,
6.
how do you fake that?
Yeah. Why would Bigfoot have 6 toes though? Does anyone have 6 toes? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. We've got the most.
No, any primates. They usually have like what?
They've got the 5 like us, right?
3. What do they? Primates fingers. I thought they were like the Simpsons.
Oh,
yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, they've got like 4. No, yeah, you're right. They are like us.
Oh man, I'm so
They're
glad
just
that we've
like
got
us.
these. So good. Inbuilt claw machine.
Yeah, the thumbs are so fucking awesome.
The whole hand. I'm a huge fan of hands. I would hate to be one of these fucking dogs or cows or something. It's so much harder.
Yeah, everything's better with hands. Hands
Isn't
are so great. I'm a big hand guy as well. Not a foot guy. I don't like feet. We've been over this before, but not a fan of feet.
Yeah. Totally. I would
hands?
much rather live in a
Awesome.
wheelchair than have my arms cut off. I'll take it in a second.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
that basically
I
is
just-
our lives as YouTubers. We are in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Life would go on. But hands.
Yeah, but I was talking more in an attraction element.
So good. Dude. Okay, let's just drop the charade at this point. This podcast is just us describing which freaks we'd like to fuck. And like just listing.
Do you like hands or feet?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
But
Which one are you?
I know what I
Which
mean.
side are you?
Dude. I swear the amount of people that like feet would be as same as like the rogue monkey populations in America. It'd be a few thousand at most.
No, there's so many. It's like 50%.
Bullshit.
I reckon it's close to 50%, which is why Bigfoot is a thing in the first place.
Oh, for
People
Christ's sakes.
like big feet. People like feet in general. I don't.
They don't. That's such a lie.
What percentage
it's
of
a
people
weird
like
fetish.
feet? I'm going to say like at least 25%.
Okay, well, that dropped dramatically very fast.
Yeah. But 25%, what do you think? What do you think?
Look, okay, I honestly think that it'd be like 1 or 2% of the population.
No, okay, I just looked it up. There's a few studies. It looks like 17% of men.
Really? Okay, that is
Yeah.
higher than I thought. And that
It is
is
pretty high.
closer to your second guess
Yeah,
which is so far off of 50. But okay.
All right. Well, now what about hands? Why is there no big hand out there? Why do people not like hands? Do you think people like feet more than hands?
No, surely not.
I like hands way more than feet.
Oh, yeah. They're much more attractive. Hands are attractive, aren't they? I mean, there's such a thing as hand models. There's no such thing as feet models, are there?
See, what the fuck is this? Foot fetish is between 10 and 20% of adults. Hand fetish or chirophilia is under 1%.
Hand fetish?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like a big fascination with hands.
Well, then what constitutes as a hand job then? Why is that not part of it?
You don't know what a hand job is?
Yes, I know. Jackson,
you said what is a hand job?
I've made it to second base. Just so you know.
I wasn't sure. You concerned me then.
Wait, what are you talking about?
What is a hand job? What is a hand job? What do you mean, what is a hand job?
No, I'm saying, because why doesn't that count as being attracted to hands?
Well, because it's a means to an end. You're not doing it because you're attracted to the hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, I get.
If we go further into this conversation, we will get demonetized. But it is very strange to me that doesn't count. Anyway,
we're already demonetized. I don't know what you're talking about there. We've been demonetized since the first 2 minutes, I think. All right, so this is a press release. Back to the Skookum cast. Quote, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Associate Professor of Anatomy and Anthropology at Idaho State University, is a member of the scientific team examining a plaster cast of what may be the first documented body imprint of a Sasquatch. The imprint of what appears to be a large animal's left forearm, hip, thigh, and heel was discovered September 22 in a muddy wallow near Mount Adams in southern Washington state by a Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, which you can find at www.bfro.net. Expedition in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. The investigating team, including Meldrum, Dr. Grover Krantz, retired physical anthropologist from Washington State University, Dr. John Bindernagel, a Canadian wildlife biologist, John Green, a retired Canadian journalist and author, and Dr. Ron Brown, an exotic animal handler and healthcare administrator, all examined the cast and agreed that it cannot be attributed to any commonly known Northwest animal and may represent an unknown primate. That's pretty interesting. That's a lot of doctors.
That is a lot of doctors. Holy shit.
There's a lot of credible people, I would say, that have
dude.
come to the same conclusion.
Okay.
All right, so we see the pictures here. I got to be honest, the initial cast picture looks like nothing to me. It looks like like with reptile enclosures, like a snake enclosure, how some of them have like those fake walls in the background.
Yeah. It looks exactly like that. That's a really good description. Totally.
Yeah, I can't see any kind of indentation or Bigfoot ass cheeks in there.
No.
But they did. They found it, as made evident by this picture, which shows exactly the zones of where. I like how there's butt question mark. Like he's put in the top left and right corner, or the top right corner, it just says butt question mark. Like they're not sure if that's a butt indentation. Like the assumption there would be that Bigfoot is just slapping his ass cheeks all over the place on the ground, just like hopping up and down on his butt.
I think so.
Yeah.
What else are they suggesting? And this, as you said before, there's so many doctors in on this. The arse theory.
The arse theory. And again, it's just an unknown primate. It could just be a random gorilla that escaped, maybe, who was slapping his cheeks on the ground. Investigators and enthusiasts have also found what they believe to be Bigfoot nests. When they brought out professional primatologists to investigate the nest, they determined that they were nests made by primates due to how they were structured. Forest debris is almost weaved together to make the nest sturdy, something that primates do with a lot of planning. The insides are covered in softer materials, such as moss, and can have impressions inside from a creature laying in them. Many have been found from Oregon in the Blue Mountains, where one was found near abnormally large Bigfoot-like prints. Some in Canada were found elevated up high in trees, suggesting that Bigfoot can climb. And then we have a picture here of a person laying down, Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum laying down in a Bigfoot nest.
Okay, well, this immediately destroys all of his credibility. Look at that photo.
Yeah. He's in the fetal position.
What are you saying? That you're as big as Bigfoot? What's going on here?
Yeah, wait, that's a great point. He's like taking up the entire nest. Surely if Bigfoot was real and as big as they say he is, the nest would be way larger.
Surely, unless it's for a juvenile Bigfoot. And also on top, why are they making nests?
Well, they can't make houses.
Why? They have hands.
Yeah, but they're not as smart as us.
Can apes make houses?
No. What? What? No.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying like they can't make something that you know just like ring up Blue Haven pools and get. But I'm saying that something. Can they?
No, I don't think they can make shelter. I think they find shelter or make nests. I don't think they make like George in the Jungle style, you know, tree houses. No, they don't make those.
I'm not saying that. That's so advanced, dude. I'm just saying, like, you know, putting some twigs up against a tree or something.
No, they don't do that either. They don't make buildings of any variety. I think they do make nests like this.
Well, yeah, no, they do make nests. Yeah, you're right. Idiots.
Why don't we just teach them? Send a fucking building contractor out there to teach them how to build houses.
And I swear to God, they'd be smart enough to figure that shit out, surely.
Surely, just show them and then they can teach each other and that can persist through ape history then.
How good is this sentence? As soon as you look that up, it says, apes have no concept of architecture or
They're out there making modern art installations.
It's very funny thinking about researchers spending years to just write, have no concept of architecture.
Well, to be fair, luckily they do because you had a presumption that they did make houses. So
someone needed to do the research. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
There are also recordings of strange sounds from places such as the Appalachian Mountains that are sometimes attributed to Bigfoot, such as the below video, apparently from a park ranger. Let's watch this video.
All right, we're watching that.
I want to hear what a Bigfoot sounds like. What is this?
What the absolute fuck is it?
Why is it echoing so much? Fuck that.
I'm to regret that I stopped at this.
That's horrifying.
What is that? What is that?
You say Bigfoot isn't real?
What the hell is that?
I don't ever want to stick my arm out.
That's terrifying. What the fuck is that, Jordan?
Okay, there has to be some kind of answer for that. I want to know.
If that's not Bigfoot, we have to nuke the Appalachian Mountain. Whatever that is cannot be allowed to exist. That was terrifying. That noise was haunting.
Wasn't it?
I know that like animals that are like dying, you know, like when a bear falls down and like injures itself and can't walk or something, or a boar. Like I know boars scream really loud. So it could have been something like that, but that sounded like it had a megaphone and it was echoing. It sounded like otherworldly.
And the other thing is, it sounded kind of, this is the other, like, I'm sure it's some kind of prank, but I want to know what they are basing the prank off of. You know, is it one of those things where, like in Jurassic Park, where they get a tiger and mix it with a mouse? Yeah. And is it one of those, or what are they doing there? Because that was so scary, whatever the fuck that noise was.
I mean, yeah, if it's a prank, there's a million things that it could have been, obviously. If it's just like a dude on the other side of the brush with a megaphone just like fucking screaming into it, maybe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was from a park ranger next to his park ranger car with his light, like emergency lights turned on. So, like a little bit of credibility there, right? I don't know.
Are cops allowed to play pranks? Would they go to jail for it? Was it a park ranger, was it?
Yeah. It could just be a prank.
Totally. If you're a park ranger, of course, you're allowed to get away with that shit. Definitely.
Oh, maybe, but I don't know.
No one would hold that against you. Your job is noble and boring, and you should be allowed to play tricks on the public.
My thing is, if that was real, like the only thing pointing to it being a hoax to me is if that was real, I would, and I was that park ranger, I would have been out of there immediately. I would have been in my car, locking the door, and driving the fuck out of that place.
Yes, but Jackson, as we have noted before, we are both massive cowards.
No, yes. Yeah.
And also, if I was in America, I think I'd be a hell of a lot braver if I was just allowed to own a bazooka.
Hold a gun. Yeah.
It'd be great. Those situations would be a hell of a lot less scary.
I don't know.
In the United States today, you could not be scared of the Sasquatch, surely. What, you think even with a gun you couldn't? Yeah, nah, you'd be able to do it for sure.
What if he had little cute black eyes? Like beady black eyes like a polar bear?
Like a polar bear.
I couldn't shoot that.
Well, all my depictions of Bigfoot, I'm just like, you ugly, hairy cunt. Just nothing saving him from cuteness.
Runs out of that.
He's always just looks so smelly and...
yeah. Runs out of that forest with shaggy hair, screaming like he did in that video with the giant
I'm shooting
meaty
it.
dong. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You gotta shoot it.
Yeah. Then you've got the display for the Natural British History Museum where he there needs to be one in there. I'm sorry. Every single animal had to do its due diligence and get stuffed and put in there. It needs to be on display. It has to. One of them.
That video was honestly terrifying, though.
Yeah, I know. It was really scary.
If it is real, and it is like an animal dying or something. God damn, what a horrifying sound. What a horrifying sound.
Oh, yeah, no.
Chapter 4, Contradicting Evidence. Of course, as with any cryptid, Bigfoot comes with its share of criticism and contradiction. Are we cancelling Bigfoot? Yeah. What did he do?
Controversial.
Bigfoot comes with its fair share of criticism and contradictory evidence. Let's go over the elements that point to the ridiculous theory that Bigfoot doesn't exist. Bigfoot was actually investigated by the FBI, and he actually had a file on record since 1976. Peter Byrne, who we mentioned above and is the director of the Bigfoot Information Center and exhibition in Oregon, sent the FBI around 15 hairs attached to a small bit of skin to examine and look into. He nor his organization could figure out the hair's origin, and they begged the FBI to try and figure it out. A year later, he got a letter back. The FBI ascertained that the hair was from a deer. This was released when the files were declassified by the FBI recently.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, Byrne did not know the outcome of this analysis until the files were declassified 40 years later, and this was the reason he didn't share the results originally. People instead speculate that he didn't share the results due to its disproving nature. Byrne was also out of the country at the time the FBI sent the results back, so it's plausible it could have been missed. Okay. Still, to this day, no DNA evidence has proven that Bigfoot is real, even though we have seen their apparent nests and footprints as well as Bigfoot himself. Bigfoot is also the center of many hoaxes, of course, including the footprint sighting seen by Jerry Cruz, the sighting that coined Bigfoot. In 2002, on his deathbed, a man named Ray Wallace, who was known as a prankster in his youth, reportedly admitted to being Bigfoot. At the time, many thought it might have been him who planted the tracks, and he admittedly denied it, even threatening to sue for slander. Though a few years later, Wallace claimed he caught a Bigfoot, even feeding it Frosted Flakes. Why is that a detail?
Why would you think? Oh man, that guy does not have a degree in zoology, hey? Why would you give it a banana? It's a 1-to-1. It's a big monkey. It wants a banana.
Give him a banana, damn it.
Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes are for tigers. He was offered $1 million to sell
come on. It's a big monkey. Why not Cocoa Pops? So stupid.
He was offered
I'll say this. There's many holes in this story.
He was offered $1 million to sell it, but Wallace was never able to produce or show proof of his Bigfoot that he apparently caught. It was his son, Michael, who told the Seattle Times that his dad was Bigfoot. Quote from Michael Wallace, 2002. Ray L. Wallace was Bigfoot. The reality is... Wait, this quote is great. So this was after Ray died. Quote, Ray L. Wallace was Bigfoot. The reality is Bigfoot just died. End quote.
Very poetic sentence.
Apparently, Wallace believed evidence like the Patterson-Gimlin film was fake, believing the hoax to be motivated by his own hoax earlier with the construction site footprints. And well, to Wallace's credit, there has been conflicting evidence about that too. A man named Bob what the fuck? Bob Hieronymus. That's a fake name. Surely. Bob Hieronymus saw a TV program in 1998 on Fox about Bigfoot and decided that he was tired of pretending and hiding his true identity. you see, Bob Hieronymus was Bigfoot, or at least he was the man in the Bigfoot suit. Hieronymus claims that Gimlin asked him to wear the costume and help them make a fake film in the hopes that they would all make a good profit by selling the rights to the video, though he claimed that he was never paid. Apparently, the suit was made of fur and bits of leather, with padding added to the breast to make it look more like the Bigfoot creature. The headpiece was just a football helmet with a mask that he struggled to see out of. He was directed to walk when they began filming, and afterwards he kept the suit and put it in the back of his mother's car. His mother, a woman by the name of Opal, claims that when she went to put something in her car a few days later, she saw what she thought at first was a dead animal. Hieronymus' nephew, 8 at the time, also recalls playing with the costume. Some believe Hieronymus was possibly seeking a payday by coming out with his story of it being a hoax. However, even disregarding his story, the footage has been examined by experts, and the general consensus is that the figure we believe to be Bigfoot is simply someone in a suit. So, in conclusion, there are a lot of questions to raise about Bigfoot. If they are real, why have we not found any bones or teeth or DNA evidence even after all of these years? It also raises the question of if it is actually feasible that Bigfoot is able to continue to survive throughout time with presumed low population amounts, especially considering mammals need to maintain genetic health by mating with different bloodlines. Surely we would have stumbled across some sort of undeniable evidence, but the Bigfoot has been able to keep their presence completely hidden, including fossils. And of course, the most conclusive element that proves Bigfoot isn't real. The television series Finding Bigfoot has been running since 2011 with 11 different full-length television seasons and has produced no evidence that Bigfoot exists.
Fuck!
That's conclusive. I mean, you can't have 11 full sensational TV seasons out there in the woods filming at all times with hidden cameras and stuff and not produce any like credible evidence.
I got to know the ratings on that. That's incredible.
So what could Bigfoot be? Well, it could be an unknown primate species, a real group of big feet that have managed to exist just outside of human grasp for this long. But besides the hoaxes and fakes, Bigfoot is often considered to be a misidentified animal. For example, bears are likely the most common mistaken Bigfoot, especially if in poor lighting conditions. They can walk on their back 2 feet and can be as tall as Bigfoot is reported to be, and many areas that are prone to Bigfoot sightings are also documented to have sizable black bear populations. Humans have also been mistaken as Bigfoot before. One time
that's very insulting.
No, it's not. That's a compliment.
Giant hairy ape.
Hairy aspects, yeah, sure, but being identified as tall is a compliment in this day and age.
I guess so. Okay. According to Jackson, yes. Being
called to everyone. What do you mean?
Dumb ape that can't even build a house.
Oh,
this is a compliment.
One time in 2013, a 21-year-old man accidentally shot a friend of his while they were trying to hunt for Bigfoot. 6 years beforehand, a wave of reports came in around North Carolina that turned out to be a shamanist wearing animal fur. The police urged the city to be aware of this fact and that no one should shoot the shamanist.
Okay, that's fine.
In conclusion, why are feet such a reoccurring fascination point for humanity? That's what I'm interested in. It seems everything comes back to feet. It does. It really does. Why? Why feet?
I don't know. That's a weird one to me, honestly.
We're going to do a red thread
Any
episode
foot fetishes, you can
fetishes.
remain anonymous in the comments, but let us know.
Yeah, let us know. What is it about feet? I want to know. Why do people like feet? Why?
They're bony.
Is it because
they're in the wrong places?
Is it because they're like hidden all the time? You know, it's like that the part of the body that's like
naughty.
Yeah, exactly. You know how it used to be like women wore long dresses, so seeing their heels used to be attractive. Has it just gone further down now because women wear shoes, I guess?
Yeah. Kind of dirty. I guess maybe that might be it. Also, on top of this, just as a quick side note, I was looking up the ratings for Finding Bigfoot. It's pulling in an average of 1.2, 1.3 million.
Oh my fucking God.
That's
They're doing better than us.
Oh,
Still to this day. That's crazy. Good for them.
Yeah, I know. Have you ever watched it before?
11 years ago.
This is the heady days of Animal Planet, was it?
Yeah, it was around that time. And I don't remember if it was there were so many of those shows of like hunting Bigfoot, but I think that's the most like prominent one.
God, it really shows what the audience is for this. They're just like putting in their conclusive evidence, and everybody there just looks like a fat truck driver, and they're just in a garage filled with trucks.
I mean, that's cool. Again, those are the modern adventurers of our time. We're the losers, Jordan. They're the cool people.
Yeah, they are. Totally.
All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to answer some members' questions right now. Again, sign up at official.men for a 7-day trial, free trial to ad-free early access Red Thread episodes. Obviously, your support means a lot to us over in Red Thread. It keeps us going. It helps us continue our research efforts to find conclusive evidence of anything at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want early access to our shows and also to ask us questions, 7-day free trial at official.men, and then it's $5 a month for free early ad-free access to all of our shows, including Criminally Stupid and the official podcast, as well as other random stuff we do like Real Boys, which is like movie reviews. So if you want to hear us talk about movies, then that's exclusive over on patreon.com/theofficialpodcast and official.men right now. But official.men, that's where you need to go for the 7-day free trial. Go try it out. Highly recommend it. These are the members' questions this week. Jacob Tuck asks, not sure how widely accepted it is, but it is a Mormon belief that Bigfoot is Cain from the Bible who got transformed into a beast as punishment for killing Abel and now wanders the American Northwest.
No!
That's a pretty cool fucking belief.
That's sick.
Bigfoot is just
you got to say this, honestly, Mormonism, there's very few, this is a very controversial thing, especially to say to Americans, but I really think that you really moved away from the word of God and should be ashamed of yourself for moving away from Catholicism. And I do think that, honestly, Mormonism has been your only improvement on the Holy Book. It is just like, that is nuts. That's so good. What a theory.
I love that theory. I love the theory that Bigfoot is a biblical figure. And it would explain why every culture has a story about Bigfoot now.
Yeah.
Because he's just been traveling around the globe. He goes everywhere.
Worldwide, trying to figure out a way, but his punishment's too great. Jacob, the Mormons could be right about it. Fuck, no wonder finding Bigfoot, because all they're doing is obviously just looking around Utah or some shit. They're not going the world.
Yeah, he's out there somewhere. We got to finding Bigfoot needs to go global, I think.
Yeah. Their ratings need to improve as well.
L. Laver asks, based on the physical similarities in the features of Bigfoot and Yetis, as well as them both living in some kind of mountain range / conditions, would it be safe to assume that maybe one is an evolution of the other's story? I'm very excited to see what you'll cook up with this one.
Yeah. Yes. This creature that, breaks my heart to say that it doesn't exist, but if it did exist, obviously it would have to evolve from the same giant man.
Well, yeah, but also the story itself. Do you think that the stories kind of borrow from each other and evolve in that sense? Especially in modern times, like the Bigfoot story.
That's why you got to go back to the OG shit. You have to go back to Native American tribes stories, and you have to go back to old Himalayan Buddhist texts.
Yeah. And you'll find that they both create the same kind of stories, but without any kind of reference to the others and without any reasonable idea that they could be sharing information or borrowing or,
which
otherwise
is
inspiring
the real
each other.
Mystery of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
As always, because we're on the internet, it's only a matter of time before someone says, it's from shrooms, man. And they could be right.
No, again, the only reasonable answer to that every culture came up to the same idea is that it is Cain. Bigfoot is Cain. He's been wandering the lands forever.
I'll give the Mormons this. They have an answer.
They've done more than the rest of us. Simon asks, can this be the episode where Jordan is naked? Jokes aside.
Oh, damn it.
Jokes aside, do you think that Bigfoot is the most likely cryptid to exist, or do you think there is a better candidate? I think he's the most likely cryptid to exist in that he could just be a giant ape. That's like the stories could be of a giant ape that is just wandering around and got out from a zoo or something, maybe.
And cryptid doesn't count giant squids Because that is the Kraken, but it exists, so it's not a cryptid.
I mean, you could say that still, probably.
Is this how it works? Is something a cryptid until it's proven to exist, and then it's just an animal? Then it's just
real. Yeah, I think so.
Is that
it? Yeah. So the cryptid is the preceding thing, and then it becomes an animal once it's discovered. So I guess Kraken would be the most likely thing then.
I don't really discount the theory of something sort of dinosaur-y living deep in the African jungles of the Congo or something.
No, I don't think that there's anything on terrestrial land that it would be big that we haven't discovered already. There's just too many humans.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not going that far. I reckon there's... Okay, probably not.
It has to be deep underground in hidden chambers under the earth that we haven't reached yet. Like a whole sublayer. Like, the giants under the underground, that theory. Or in the Arctic or in deep sea.
You don't think around like, okay, for instance, I'll give you a good example of this, even though this isn't a huge animal, but the theory that Tasmanian tigers still exist, I think has some credibility because there is a lot of uncharted, very inaccessible territory in Tasmania for human beings. As in, human beings can go there. It's not, uncharted is probably the wrong word. Humans can go there, but they don't often. And if you've got something that's more nimble and can move around those areas quickly, it makes sense that Tasmanian tigers, a small population, maybe exists still up there.
No, my issue isn't that like we wouldn't see them. It's they would leave absolutely no evidence behind. Like we would find evidence of them existing to some degree if they were a sizable animal. Like there's just no way.
Okay, let me ask. All right, I'm just going to quickly Google. What was the last...
Yeah, what was the last large animal discovered?
Ish animal?
Because it would be a region that was otherwise unexplored at that point, surely.
I reckon we fucking discovered something in the 90s.
Yeah, I would say probably as late as the 80s or 90s. That's probably when the last big discovery would have been made. Actually, no, even that is pretty late.
But so what are you going to guess?
Like 1920s.
This is not what we're talking about, but this is pretty interesting. Very recently, they found much larger kangaroos.
In Australia?
No, I mean, extinct ones. But
extinct.
Way
no, I'm
bigger
talking
than
about
giant.
living things.
Yeah, obviously. But like, the giant kangaroos that we used to think we had are not as giant
bigger?
as... They were even bigger. They were much bigger.
Yeah, if they were that big... I mean, kangaroos already have big feet. That would be real Bigfoot.
Yes, I suppose they would. Yes.
That would be biggest foot. Those
biggest
are massive. Foot. That's crazy. If you've never seen a kangaroo before, they have enormous feet. They don't even look like feet, though. They look like little springboards. Have you discovered what the last living animal, large living animal?
It's just not saying.
What was the largest living animal most recently discovered?
Okay, look, something was discovered in 2024. New species of deer. There you go.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think I meant more like species, like just like new species itself, not like subspecies.
Okay,
I mean, yeah, they are. I don't know what I meant, but yeah, in 2024. They discovered a new type of green anaconda as well, which was massive.
Did they?
Yeah, in 2024. So yeah, I mean, we are still discovering things, I guess, but I think I meant more so like actually large new things, not just like...
And a giant salamander too. Yeah, nothing new.
Well, they just
Fuck me, that is a big salamander.
It is kind of cool though that we are finding new species still though.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed by that.
That is cool. That means there is room there is room now in my mind for things to happen. Interesting. Bigfoot does exist. I think that's all the proof we need.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
Dude, this new
question.
deer is sick, by the way. But yeah, go on.
Last question comes from Jesus Albert, who says, "Come on, you guys are better than this one." That's not even a question.
That's not a question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Come on, you guys are better than this one.
Question?
In which case,
you guys
no.
are better than this one? And the answer is obviously no, we're not better than that.
We're not better than anything.
We are right on par with it.
I like imagining people who have just signed up, like subscribed to the channel because of our Epstein coverage over the last 2 weeks, like political scandal, a lot
always
of deep research and stuff. And then the very next video that comes across their feed is Bigfoot real?
So good. Is it real?
Yeah.
What is Trump hiding?
I thought we were better than this one as well. But no, we had to tackle Bigfoot eventually. And it was a fun little diversion. I'm happy we did it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Remember, Jordan's got a bunch of channels. Go watch his content below. He's also now posting to Spotify. Our videos are on Spotify as well. Just go look at the links. He's also touring around Australia, doing a live show in real life. People absolutely love it. People who have gone and seen it have said it's the best show ever made. It's about aliens. Discovering the truth of if aliens are real or not. Great comedy show. Go watch it if you're in Australia. Go buy tickets now. They'll be linked below. I don't know where you're next. I think, you're actually up this way next, Brisbane, right?
Maybe. You seem to know my tour schedule better than me, but that sounds about right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're coming up this way.
Nice.
So Brisbane, tickets available right now. Go buy them. Go.
No. Brisbane's sold out. That's right. Toowoomba, I think there's a couple of tickets there. So just drive the extra hour and a half, you cheap asses.
There's shows around. You'll find something.
Go find them.
You might have to travel a massive amount of distance, but it's worth it. Go check him out. His channels are linked below as well. Other than that, official.men, 7-day free trial. Support us on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. Rate the shows. Comment. Give us interactions. It all helps out. Thank you. That'll do it. Bye. Did you say bye?
Oh, no. Bye. See you around. Bye.
Very rude, Jordan. Very rude.